Warren Buffett has made over $140 billion in his lifetime, and when someone asked him what the single best thing he ever did was, he didn't say, picking Apple. He didn't say buying Coca-Cola, he said reading one book at age 19. One book. The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. He called it, and still calls it, the best book on investing ever written. And he said it literally changed his whole life. So today, Alex is going to walk you through the 5 biggest rules from that book. Not the boring textbook version, the real version. The one that will stop you from making expensive mistakes and finally show you what it actually means to invest like someone who builds real, lasting wealth. I'm Vish, and welcome to Vish Invest, where we talk about money with real-life examples. No hype, no shortcuts, just the stuff that actually works. Rule number 1. Mr. Market is crazy. Stop listening to him. This is probably the most important idea in the entire book, and it's the one most people get completely wrong. So let me tell you about Mr. Market. Imagine Alex owns a small coffee shop. Nothing fancy, just a solid little business. Regular customers, steady profits, pays the bills, and then some. Alex loves it. Now every single morning, a very strange neighbor shows up at the door. His name is Mr. Market, and every morning he makes Alex a new offer to buy the place. Monday morning, he storms in, practically buzzing with excitement. Alex, I'll give you $1 million for this place. Coffee shops are on fire right now. Alex thinks, okay, odd, but noted. Tuesday morning, Mr. Market drags himself in looking absolutely miserable. Coffee is dead, man. I'll give you $50,000. Sell now before it gets worse. Wednesday, he's back, chipper again. $700,000. Changed my mind. Coffee is cool again. And this goes on. Every single day. Now here's the question. Would Alex take this guy seriously? Of course not. He'd laugh. He'd say, buddy, come back when you're sober. But here's the strange thing. When it comes to the stock market, people listen to Mr. Market like he's some kind of financial prophet. Stocks go up 3 days in a row, and suddenly everyone's a genius. One bad week and people are panic selling everything they own. Why? Because the market looks official. It's on screens. It's on the news. It feels real and serious. Graham's entire point is that Mr. Market's behavior is no more rational than that weird neighbor. He is emotional. He is dramatic. He swings between fear and greed constantly, and most of the time he is flat out wrong. Think about March 2020. The S&P 500 dropped 34% in just 33 days, the fastest crash of that size in history. Great companies like Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon got dramatically cheaper. Not because they suddenly became bad businesses, because Mr. Market was having the meltdown of his life. The people who understood this principle didn't panic. They saw a sale. Within 6 months, the market had fully recovered. The people who stayed calm made life-changing returns. Graham said it best. The market is there to serve you, not to instruct you. Your job is not to predict where prices go next week. Your job is to know the value of what you own and act only when it actually makes sense. Rule number 2. Stop speculating and call it investing. Here's a line Graham wrote that most people skip past without realizing it should stop them in their tracks. Investing is not the same thing as speculating, and most people who think they're investing, they're speculating. Let Alex explain the difference. Investing is calm, thoughtful, long-term. It's like buying a house you actually plan to live in. You check the neighborhood, you check the structure, you look at the schools nearby. You're thinking 10 years out, not next month. Speculating is different. It's buying that same house because your coworker said prices are going to moon. You have no idea what the roof looks like, no idea who the neighbors are. You're just hoping someone will pay more than you did. And that is exactly what millions of people do in the stock market every single day. During the dot-com bubble of the late 1990s, people were throwing money at anything with .com at the end of its name. Companies with zero revenue, no actual product, nothing but a web page and a dream. Their stock prices were skyrocketing. People weren't asking whether the business was real. They were asking whether the price would go up next week. Then, in 2000, it all collapsed. Trillions of dollars in value evaporated. Not because the market was unlucky, because those people were speculating, not investing. Graham's rule is simple, and it has never gone stale. Treat a stock like a partial ownership in a real business, because that is literally what it is. If you wouldn't buy the entire business, ask yourself very honestly why you're buying a tiny piece of it. Rule number 3. Always give yourself a cushion. This is the rule that separates the investors who survive from the ones who don't. Graham called it the margin of safety, and it might be the single smartest idea in the entire book. Here's the concept. No matter how smart you are, no matter how deeply you've researched, things can go wrong. The economy can flip, a company can stumble, the market can go sideways for reasons that make no logical sense. You need room for error. You need a cushion built in before you ever buy. Graham used a bridge as his example. If trucks crossing a bridge weigh 10,000 pounds, you don't build the bridge to handle exactly 10,000 pounds. You build it for 30,000. That extra strength is your safety margin. That's the thing protecting you when something unexpected happens. Same logic applies to every stock Alex buys. If research tells him a company is worth $50 per share, he doesn't buy at $50. He doesn't even buy at $45. He waits until the price drops to $30 or below. That gap is his cushion. That gap is what protects him if he's wrong about something. And here's the beautiful part. When does the market give you that kind of cushion? When everyone else is panicking. When Mr. Market is having one of his famous meltdowns. Right now in 2026, with market volatility from tariffs and inflation pressures and global uncertainty, quality companies are periodically falling to prices they haven't seen in years. That is exactly where the margin of safety lives. Buffett built his fortune buying great businesses at those prices. He didn't chase. He waited. He let the price come to him. A great business at the wrong price is still a bad deal. That sentence alone could save you from more financial pain than almost anything else you'll read this year. Rule number 4. Know which investor you actually are. Graham said this clearly, and most people completely ignore it. You are either a defensive investor or an enterprising investor. There is no middle ground. And trying to live in the middle is exactly where most people lose money. Picture 2 people at a gym. Person 1 shows up 3 times a week, jogs on the treadmill, lifts some weights, stays healthy, goes home. They're not training for a competition, they just want to feel good and not get hurt. That's your defensive investor. Person 2 is in the gym twice a day. They have a nutrition plan, a coach, a training log, and they track every single session. They want serious results and they're putting in serious hours. That's your enterprising investor. Here's what the defensive investor does, and does well. They don't chase individual stocks. They don't try to time the market. They put money consistently every month into broad index funds like the S&P 500, whether the market is up, down, or completely sideways. That's called dollar cost averaging. They check their portfolio once a year, rebalance if needed, and then they let compounding quietly do its thing. Over 30 years, this approach has beaten the vast majority of professional fund managers. Not because it's complicated, because it's consistent. Here's what the enterprising investor does. They read financial statements like other people read novels. They hunt for undervalued companies the market has overlooked. They spend serious time doing serious research. This is what young Warren Buffett did before he was Warren Buffett. But Graham was crystal clear. If you don't have the time, the skill, or the genuine obsession to do this properly, be defensive. Because trying to be an enterprising investor without the work ethic just means you buy on hype and sell on panic. That is how people destroy their savings. Pick a side. Commit to it. And stop trying to float somewhere in the middle, wondering why nothing is working. Rule number 5. Your emotions are the most expensive thing you own. Graham said the difference between successful investors and broke ones is not intelligence, it is emotional discipline. And that is probably the most uncomfortable truth in this entire book, because it means the problem is not the market. The problem is us. We have all seen this happen. The market drops 8% in a week and suddenly everyone is acting like civilization is ending. People are panic selling accounts they spent years building. Or the opposite, some stock triples overnight. Everyone is posting screenshots, everyone is talking about it. FOMO kicks in, greed takes over. Alex has seen both of these things happen to people he knows, and in both cases, the emotional reaction cost them more than the market ever did. Here's what all of this means in real life. 5 rules. 1 complete picture. Treat stocks like real businesses. Buy with a margin of safety. Stay calm when Mr. Market panics. Pick a side and commit. And master your emotions, because without that last one, the other 4 mean nothing. This is what Graham spent his life building, and what Buffett has practiced for over 70 years. Not glamorous, not exciting, but it works. If you want a part 2 going even deeper into this book, drop a comment below. Hit the like button if this helped, subscribe to Vish Invest, and go watch our video on the fastest way you can live off dividends. It's on your screen right now. I'll see you there.